Thanks for tuning in to our seller interview series. Up to date, we've got a dropshipping business for sale in the culinary niche. Created in December 2015, this business makes $2,683 per month in net profit, and the listing number for this site is 40569. Now, we do these interviews to give potential buyers more information about both the seller and the sites they're looking to purchase. We hope these insights are helpful for you in making a buying decision. We've got the seller with us today to go through the business and cover everything from niche selection to traffic and monetization. Thanks for coming on, Mikhail.
No problem, man. Thanks for having me.
So obviously the business is doing fairly well. You did mention before the call that you actually have a few other e-commerce businesses. Can you tell us a little bit about your background in building and running online businesses? Was this kind of your first one, or do you have more before you got into this?
Yeah, so I first got started early 2015, just testing it. I found a post online once and I was like, hey, I think I can do an online business. So I tried it out, and the first time didn't go through. It didn't work out. So later on, I found Anton Crowley's Dropship Lifestyle course. And
very good friends with Anton.
Yeah. I found his course, man, and actually went through it. And, it just made so much sense. And that's when I created the store that I have now that's for sale. So once I created it, got it running, man, got everything perfect and, started making a lot of money really quickly. So pretty excited about that.
Awesome, man. So how did you come up with the idea for business in particular? Now, you don't no need to mention specific items, but was there something about this niche that you enjoyed? What was the reasoning behind it?
Well, in the culinary niche that we picked, it was based on interests. Everybody loves food. So when we came up with this niche, we were basically going off people's needs and or wants. So that's why we got into it.
Excellent. So you saw a need and you decided to fulfill it with your dropshipping business. So for someone that is looking at this business and say they have no idea what dropshipping or e-commerce is or any of this stuff is, could you just briefly describe how this makes money? Like, what are your main income sources?
Sure. So basically what dropshipping is if someone were to come to our site and buy from us, then we would send it directly to our suppliers and they send it directly to our customers. So we don't hold any merchandise or inventory like that. So it kind of keeps our costs down. So if you were to start a dropshipping business or buy one, there wouldn't be any startup cost. You wouldn't have to come out of pocket, X amount of dollars to start a dropshipping business.
Right. That's definitely one of the nice things about it. Also, it allows you to experiment with so many new products without having to have so much product on hand, in a warehouse somewhere, or, even worse, in your house somewhere, and it'll take up all your closet space, right?
Exactly.
So the business is going well. So why are you selling the business? Why not just keep it and keep growing it?
Well, the funny thing is I actually found some investment opportunities in real estate. So we're kind of going into the real estate direction right now. So don't really have that much time to go through all the process and steps that, the dropshipping store takes. So
that's cool. So the plan for after the sale then is to invest in some kind of property, I'm assuming, or?
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. So when this site first began, what was the trajectory of the business those first few weeks / months? And I know you said you struggled with the previous online business you had, and that this one seemed like it just kind of happened pretty quick for you. Was that pretty true for this business? You started seeing income coming in fairly quickly?
Yeah. When I first started the second business, which is the current business that I have now, for some reason, man, it just blew up for some reason. Couple of months in, we were seeing constant profit every day and or, the months to come.
That's the best kind of starter story you can get in your business, right?
Yeah, you got to crawl sometimes, but once you start running, it's
off to the races.
It's time to put them running shoes on.
So is there anything you learned from this business that you're going to apply to future sites or businesses?
Yeah, man, dropshipping is great. It's very easy to get into dropshipping because you don't have to hold inventory. So I find it easier to manage. You might put in 1 hour, 2 hours a day, and then the rest of the day you're basically free. Sure, you have to answer emails here, phone calls here, but that might take 10, 15 minutes of your time. But other than that, you're basically free. So the site kind of runs itself with, AdWords and, things of that nature. So
Awesome. Is there anything you did that just didn't work? Maybe something that you thought would be super successful and just kind of fell flat on its face?
with my first store, selling kind of lower tier items kind of didn't work for us. So, the higher margin of items kind of worked better. So that's what I found was better.
Interesting. So you decided to move more into like a high ticket kind of demographic.
Correct.
Excellent. You mentioned AdWords. So what is the breakdown of the traffic to your store? Is it mainly AdWords? Or are you getting organic search as well? Where's all the traffic coming from?
Majority of our traffic is on AdWords, but we do have some SEO kind of in there, doing some keywords and things of that nature. So when you're inputting products on your site, you have a category where you can input organic, keywords. So, we've monetized that and done all of that. So
Awesome.
It's has all that taken care of.
So the earning type, I'm assuming it's all drop shipping for the most part, if not completely. But as far as the earning types, how many products do you have currently on your store? Is it mainly just one product that's delivering like 80% of the revenue, or is it pretty split and even?
One of our companies are actually a very well-known company, and they sell very well. Occasionally we get sales to the other suppliers that we have, but majority it's 2 or 3 companies that sell really well. We currently have 7 different companies that we work with. So
Excellent. Is that 7 items or 7 companies with multiple items?
7 companies with multiple items of probably 30 to 40 items
Very
per
cool.
company. So.
Very cool. So as far as the actual stability of the earnings go, do you see that it fluctuates quite often, or does it stay pretty rock steady?
So we have, in different months, it could be different potentially. Sometimes summer might be good or Christmas might be good. So it just depends. But for the most part, it's been steady.
Excellent. That's always good to hear as well. Yeah, there's always going to be a bit of an uptick, right? With Christmas and the seasonality, it's always going to be kind of built into anything retail.
Correct.
As far as opportunities go with this business, say that you were going to keep this business and you weren't going to sell it and you decided to keep growing it, what would be the least risky thing that you would do to keep growing this business?
Well, since the business is still relatively new, we haven't really had a chance to do any like social media aspects. So we would like, if we were going to continue to run this business, we would like to get, social media attached to it, let everybody know our new promotions, and basically build our brand as more of a store brand instead of just an online store. So, and also we would go into a like partner niche. Basically, it's within the same niche, just different products. So we would add more suppliers in that aspect as well.
And if you were just, threw caution to the wind and became incredibly risky, just wanting to grow this business as fast as humanly possible, what would you do?
Definitely would do a lot more advertising, meaning more so like on Bing and Yahoo, just to get, not many companies are on these kind of accounts for growth. So we would go forward with those companies and also do a lot of in-store kind of advertising, because the products that we sell, everybody uses them. Everybody uses culinary items, and that's basically what we have on our site. So, yeah.
Fantastic. As far as risks go for the actual buyer looking at this site, is there any kind of risk or maybe multiple risks that you see that a buyer should be aware of when they're looking at this business?
Well, when purchasing our site, what the buyer has to understand is in the culinary business and the culinary niche, it's very not seasonal in a way, but some months are going to be better than others. And for the buyer, that might be something that they, take a look at.
And can you describe the amount and type of work you're doing to maintain this business? What is your weekly schedule?
So every day, basically, what you would do is you would log in, you would check if you had any emails or any, voicemails or things of that nature. Every Monday, you would get an email list, basically telling you what's in stock and what's not. So you would go to your site and change all of the in stock and out of stock items and make sure all of that is on point, and basically for the rest of the week, that's what you do. But for Mondays, Mondays are the days that you check inventory and make sure your site is comparable to your suppliers.
And what skills or requirements would you recommend for someone who's not familiar with this niche to have?
When I first started my first site, I had no knowledge. And when I started my second site, I had a little bit more, but I was still an amateur. So you don't have to have, no tech skills, or you don't got to go to school for years or anything like that. You can basically be an average guy or average woman and still continue to make money.
Sure, that's one of the beauties of an e-commerce business is kind of a lower barrier to entry. As far as learning the skills, it's obviously as you grow, your skills can become quite considerably advanced. But for someone who might be a little bit new to this business, it is starter friendly, I guess. So, as far as wrapping up about the business, we get someone who buys your business. Would you be willing to sign a non-compete where you basically say, hey, look, I'm not going to go and start another culinary e-commerce niche in the same exact niche like next week after you bought my site from me?
Yeah, we would definitely sign because, you wouldn't want to do that to somebody. Someone buys your site and then you want to be their competitor. Like, it wouldn't be right. So, yeah, definitely we'd agree to sign that.
For sure, man. And how much support would you be willing to offer the buyer?
So basically what we would give support for would be like a whole full month of, emails and phone calls, basically being there to hold their hand if they need any assistance on uploading products or, fulfilling orders. And we'd also introduce our buyer to all of our suppliers. So, it'd be an easy transition. So they would get to know everyone because the suppliers that we work with, we're really close with them. So they know me by my first name. When I call, they know my number. So, we have a really good relationship. So I feel like introducing them to the new buyers would be, very helpful.
Absolutely. And obviously the best case scenario here is someone comes in and buys your business exactly for list price. Best case scenario for you, for Empire Flippers. But say someone came in and they wanted to do a split or an earn out where they put up front 70% of the list price and then they give you 30% on closing. Is that something you would at all be open to?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's just like with anything in life. When you're going into something new, kind of scary. So,
true words.
It's kind of scary. So if you pay out all your money and then, something goes wrong and then you're just kind of SOL. So, yeah, of course, we would agree to something like that.
Excellent. I have one last question. It's the $1 million question here. But before I get into it, just a quick reminder for everyone out there on kind of the statistics for this site. It was built in June 2015 as a monthly revenue of $7,835. That's over a 6-month average. The expenses are sitting right at around $5,152, which including the AdWords cost to advertise the site. And it comes out with a net profit of $2,441. Again, the business, obviously the domain is included in the sale, but so is the AdWords account. So give me your best pitch in 30 seconds or less why someone should purchase this business.
Well, with our dropshipping store, it's basically hands off. You don't really have to, wake up super early and do all of these things. It kind of runs itself with the AdWords and all of the apps that we currently have on our website. We have the live chat monitor. So if somebody has a question, they can go straightly to your, direct messages on your cell phone. So you can kind of do everything from your phone, which is great and what's helped us a lot. So if you were to purchase our site, you wouldn't really have to do much, but, do the daily maintenance and things of that. So I believe you would make a smart choice.
I like the being able to run it from your phone. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It definitely brings a whole new meaning to going mobile, I guess. If you're watching this on YouTube, for the listeners out there, and you want more info about this business, the link will be below the video that would take you to our marketplace listing. If you're watching this on the actual listing page and you want more information, you can become a depositor today All you have to do is click the button, make a deposit, and we will send you the rest of the information over about this business so you can do your due diligence. Mikhail, it was a pleasure. Thank you for coming on, man. And obviously, we will talk soon.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.